didn't expect that to be so loud.
Your husband, can you talk about what an example he is setting for those under him and to follow him with what he's done and getting in shape for this match for WrestleMania?
So you mean the fan base, or
No, the wrestlers,
talent?
the talent. Yeah, the talent.
So I think that Triple H, my husband Paul, on so many different levels, is a true leader and a role model for so many. Aside from the characters that we play on television, here he is, 46 years old, in probably the best shape of his life. I mean, he is shredded, and he has been working so hard, training just constantly, the nutrition that it takes, and I think that not only is he in peak performance condition, but then also he's responsible for NXT that's going to take place live tomorrow night. He's responsible for, his entire business, all of talent relations, talent development, everything that's involved in WrestleMania, which is quite extensive. And he does it all with a smile on his face. And I think that the example that he sets is a strong one. And I think it's aspirational and inspirational to us all.
I have a question. How do you manage to do everything? You have kids, you have a job, you manage to work out?
I don't get a lot of sleep. That's the real answer. Not a lot. We all need some, but I don't get much sleep. That's my sacrifice. But also I have great teams. I have a lot of people who help me. And if I didn't have that help and support, I don't think that I would be able to be nearly as successful in terms of all the endeavors. And I think you also have to prioritize. My family comes first. And that being said, that doesn't mean that there aren't some times that you have to sacrifice, and sometimes you sacrifice missing a school play or a presentation because you have to be somewhere for business, and vice versa. Sometimes you have to miss a meeting because you need to go to that school play because your child has a big feature role and you're not going to miss it. I will say technology is certainly very helpful because you can FaceTime in no matter where you are in the world, and not only can you see your kids performing live, but they can see you right there on the device, and that's pretty impressive.
Thank you very much.
We talked a little bit when you were here for last Raw, last time we were at Raw, and I asked you what your favorite WrestleMania moment was, and you answered, "It's yet to come." So,
I think last year was pretty good, though.
It was. So on this Sunday, what are you looking forward to most?
Okay, so I'm going to lay this out, and I'm going to try to articulate it, and I don't know that I'm going to do a good job, but when I was a little girl, I was at WrestleMania 3. I've been at every WrestleMania. And I remember what 93,173 people look like. I remember sitting in the skybox and seeing that sea of people, and Andre, who I was most interested in watching, was like this big. He was so far away, he looked like a little matchbox. And I remember what that felt like. And now to be here for WrestleMania 32 in what will hopefully break that attendance record, in the event that my father created as a part of my husband's entrance, who this will probably be the last time that he's ever competing at WrestleMania as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and it's his 20th anniversary. I mean, it's just the emotion for me is absolutely overwhelming, particularly when you consider the evolution of our business, that my great-grandfather, grandfather, father, mother, and everybody has built.
Exciting. Thank you.
Very exciting.
It's very
I'm
exciting.
very overwhelmed. So.
Well, thank you.
So, Stephanie, why did it take 32 years to bring WrestleMania to North Texas?
I think the answer to that is Charlotte Jones just needed to come on up and actually present to Vince McMahon, and the second that happened, the deal was done.
Again, you were counting the women in the room as you came in. 2 matches involving women on this card. The NXT, women's division and the regular roster women's division are better than they've been in years. Can you talk about that?
Sure, I think that there's been a lot of women who have paved the way in our business and in our industry. When you go all the way back to Mildred Burke and Fabulous Moolah and the great Mae Young. I learned a lot more about history from them, actually from Mae in particular, later in her life. And then you look at, the evolution of the Divas division, which was actually created to put a spotlight on our female performers. And I think that it's given them a platform and an opportunity to really take the ball. And it is all we can do at WWE is provide opportunity. These women have taken that ball and have brought it absolutely to another level. But I also have to say our fans are the ones who also made that happen. The We Want Divas or Give Divas a Chance hashtag that trended worldwide for 3 days. I mean, that's all of our fans. That's male and female supporting our women, wanting our women involved in more storylines, in more athletic competition and featuring them, you know, in a more prominent way. And we stepped up to the plate. But again, all we can do is provide the opportunity. They're the ones who are just knocking it right out of the park.
Yeah, I spoke to Natalia. I don't think anyone's happier than she is right now. So. she's thrilled. It's come to be as it is. She's a wrestler, right?
Yeah.
She does. Thank you.
So is it true that you will change the name of the division back to women's division?
You're gonna have to wait and see.
Okay.
Nice try.
You have to try it.
This will be the first time that NXT TakeOver is on the same weekend as WrestleMania. I know last year you hosted a really nice live event there. It was a great reception. But now you're putting it on the network the same weekend as WrestleMania. Can you talk about what that means as kind of like the evolution of NXT and where it's come to be featured in that much prominence?
When you consider NXT really started off as our developmental division and is now our third brand, selling out arenas all over the world. And yes, now it is a part of WrestleMania week, streaming live on the WWE Network. I believe NXT is absolutely taking its place. And I couldn't be more proud of the evolution of that brand. And hopefully you're coming to the show because
I got my tickets.
the energy there is, oh, it's awesome. There's nothing like it.
The WrestleMania or WWE brand is like one of the best forms of entertainment in film and television, and I'd like to ask you, in that area, what are some of your like favorite scenes from like movies that you've incorporated into the wrestling world from growing up that have always stuck with you?
It's a really interesting question, and I don't know that I can apply it throughout history. All I know is that lately I've been really into Sons of Anarchy on Netflix, and I find myself incorporating some of the stories and the language into some of the things that I'm doing, because of course you want to take what's successful and what works, you know, and that's an amazing story in and of itself, but we're not here about Sons of Anarchy.
So, why do you think people should be watching wrestling right now?
Because I think it's the greatest form of entertainment that is out there. WWE in particular combines all different genres, whether it's drama, soap opera, comedy, you know, etc. But then it's combined in this incredible live action. You know, our storylines culminate in the ring, and that's almost where the stories begin. Because wrestling itself is an art form. It really is a performance art. You know, taking the audience on a ride with your face and your body to make them want to cheer to see you win or boo to see you lose or jump to their feet in anticipation or slam their hands to their face in shock and awe at what just happened, the element of surprise. Those are all the great elements of story. And I believe that WWE does it better than anybody else.
That's a good answer because Finn Balor told us because of honky men. So
Well, he'll give a better response. I'll give you the word.
Thank you.
In-depth response.
Do we have an update on the total number of tickets sold for Mania so far?
We do. I don't think we publicly announced it.
Do you want to?
Not at the moment. We will wait, but you know, it is still our hope that we will break that original attendance record of 93,173.
Shane,
Yes.
what can you say about the shape that Shane is in?
Shane's
coming
also
back?
in phenomenal shape.
Yeah. What's it been like having him back backstage and
It's
being
great.
around?
My brother has an energy all to himself, and I think that that's one of the reasons he connects so well with our audience. I mean, it's just infectious, and it's great to have him back. You know, from a storyline perspective, I would be not so happy, but from a personal perspective, it's great.
Shane being Shane the other night on the top rope under the
Oh, I
Undertaker just made that match, you know.
Yes, my heart's in my throat, but other than that, it's great.
We have time for one more question.
Aside from the matches that your family members are in, what's your most anticipated match this weekend?
It's a great question. aside from the ones that my family members are.
There might be some bias there, so let's.
You know, it's just the spectacle of it all. You know, it really is, and I don't want to give a generic answer,
Okay.
but it's true. You know, when I walk into that stadium before anybody else, and you can feel the energy before the first body enters the building, it's just this amazing coming together of people from all different walks of life, from different countries, from different socioeconomic backgrounds, families, different ages. I mean, and what is the one thing that brings all of these different people together? And that's Wrestlemania.
Wrestling.
You know, and it's something unlike any other product out there in the world. And that's why we call it the WWE Universe. You know, because we're all connected, we're all a part of it. It's not just our fan base, it's all of us that are working internally too. It's our superstars and divas, it's our employees backstage. We're all connected by this massive WWE universe. And you know, it's just a thrill and an honor and a privilege to be a part of it.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you guys.